Welcome to another episode of AniBreak, the show where we talk about anime, manga, and video games. My name's Jason.
And I'm Bryan.
And what you been up to the past week, Bryan? You did a remix a little while ago, didn't
Yeah, just yesterday, somebody on Facebook posted a link to they made an instrumental version
you?
of the Gangnam Style track, and I'm like, well, since it's played, like people know it right now and it's popular right now, so I might as well just try mashing it up. And for some reason, a song that got stuck in my head recently was somebody that I used to know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went ahead and mashed somebody that I used to know with Gangnam Style. So titled a Gangnam that I used to know. So,
I've listened to it. It sounds very good. It's very catchy. It captures the spirit of both. Both stars. Let's be honest about that.
yeah.
But anything else? You've been doing any mixing on any of their live streams or?
I was out of town last week, so I didn't get to have my regular.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You were roughing it so hard in Vegas. At what, the
I
Win? Or?
know, right? Yeah, over at Encore, which is the I guess the sister hotel to the Win.
Oh, okay.
Meeting up with all my cousins that I haven't seen in several months, so it was kind of like a family gathering-ish type of hangout.
Well, that's cool. It's always nice to have those
Yeah.
time to get together. I'm actually doing one in a couple weeks myself, but it's gonna be out in Tucson, Arizona. So it's not gonna be as nice, but we'll see what happens with that.
Sounds good. But tomorrow I'm flying out to Missouri.
Oh, that's right. You got another gig coming up, don't you?
Yep, got Otaku coming up. I guess I'll go ahead and plug it again later at the end of the show. So
Of course. Well, that's
things
cool. I'm
will
glad to
come.
hear that you're actually still going out there and DJing, and a lot of people are still enjoying your work and asking you to go out to all these different cons. That's fantastic.
Yes, I'm still very happy about that.
All right. Well, let's jump into some music. I was going to jump into a video. I'm having music. I had that damn song stuck in my head still. Because especially the first time I heard that song, I thought I only heard it in someone's car, and I thought it said Gundam Style. And I'm like, what?
That is a popular mishearing of it.
It is. It really is. But let's talk about an actual anime that's coming out. Studio Shaft. They're extremely well known nowadays, especially because they've been producing the Madoka anime and, of course, the upcoming film trilogy.
Yes.
Well, at Comiket last weekend, they announced, or they showcased a trailer for their next series, brand new series. This one's called Magical Sweet Prism Nana, and it's about a 3-minute trailer. And let's go ahead and give it a shot, and we'll talk more afterwards.
All right.
Okay, so it's definitely a
Yeah.
different feel from Madoka in a lot of different ways.
Well, I mean, the design is drastically different. I'm pretty sure they don't have the same writer
No.
as Madoka, so yeah, I'm pretty sure this is intended to be a completely different project, and I think definitely the visual differences do help with that, I think.
I believe so as well. Although,
hmm
given the little snippet of what the story is about,
Uh-huh.
it could maybe tie in. Who knows? I mean, the story centers around what do you say? 3 emotional adolescent girls,
hmm
and from the future, not too distant from our own time. That's
hmm
all we know about this.
Yes.
I'm digging
So,
the character design, the outfits.
yeah.
It's a little more. What would you say? Easy?
Traditional?
A little more traditional, I guess, from Madoka. I mean, Madoka
Right.
in its own right had a lot of unique
Well,
visuals.
yeah, well, I mean, it was extremely stylized, which, I mean, Shaft, notorious for doing that. Nothing wrong with that, of
No,
course.
nothing wrong with that
But,
whatsoever.
but yeah, definitely Madoka was also in that category of very stylized Shaft anime.
True. I mean, it almost got to the point when I started watching Madoka that I thought it was initially animated by Gainax. Because
Oh,
they have that same unique spin as well.
right, right.
So this anime should be coming out, I have heard, sometime at the end of this year. Obviously in Japan, no word yet when it's going to be brought over stateside. But given how
But not the
insanely...
fall, right?
I don't see it on the fall list, and that's actually what we're going to go right into next.
Okay.
So we'll see if it comes out... What do you think, winter? Maybe spring at the latest.
Yeah, I think they would probably aim for winter, which gives them till January. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they can just use the next. Yeah, I think it's just enough time to build up the hype.
Yeah, it should be just enough on that. Well, speaking about anime coming out for the next season, I'm just trying to catch up with everything that happened during the summer, and the listings for the autumn season of anime is already out.
Yep.
And I love the fact that there are several websites out there who collaborate and put a bunch of the titles together onto one giant poster, and you can just go through them all. I'm going to show a few of them right now. First one we've been talking about before in the show, Robotics Notes. This is going to come out in October, so only a couple months away. That one looks interesting. It's like the third part of the whole scientific adventure game. Because first was Chaos Head, and then Steins Gate, and now this is Robotics Notes.
Yeah, and I'm just reading the description. It mentions it actually takes place in the same world of Steins Gate's True End. I'm assuming the one it's shown in the anime?
Yes.
Okay.
At the end, yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Let me go and scroll around a little bit. There was... Oh, where was it at? Come on. It wants to not work with me.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about this one, K.
Let's see. Let me take a look at it.
It's basically... There's really not much about it. It's an original anime project. There's been lots of news about who's going to be in it, who's going to be producing it. But as far as what to expect in it, it's kind of like a blank slate. You kind of got to figure out for yourself what it's going to be.
Actually, I'm not even familiar with that group, Gohans.
Really? Okay.
I mean, are you? Like, have you come across that name?
Before. No, I have not.
I'm pulling them up real quick. 1 second. Let's see here. It looks like they did a lot of support work.
Oh, okay. So this is like one of their first times where they're going to go out and spearhead a series. I could see that.
Yeah, I think animation production. Let's see. Only one product. Actually, two. They've done a handful.
Okay.
Let me see if anything. They did production assistance for Madoka.
Okay.
I see there. Okay, yeah, and a handful of other, I think, smaller name from what I can see.
Okay. A few others without trying to scroll around it. We've talked about Little Busters. That's coming out. To Love Ru Darkness, that series that's never going to end, is going to be out there.
Well, just like Hidomari's Sketch is never going to end either. And that has another season coming out.
Here's one. Actually, I want to show this one because I didn't believe this when I first saw it. Let me scroll to it. That should be it right there. Girls und Panzer. In the world, the manipulation of tanks is one of the traditional martial arts, especially for girls. The hell? So now we have girls manipulating tanks.
In the national... Sensha, I think, is armored, and then Do is technique, so yeah.
I mean, is this going to be like in the vein of Upote, which was the anthropomorphized assault rifles that were all high school girls?
I don't know. It almost looks like they're actually trying to make it like a legit sports anime based on tanks.
Why not? Why not?
If they do, I would actually be honestly curious about that, because that could... It's a sports anime. You can't go wrong. Like, those are always very compelling if done correctly.
And you tie it in with all the military otaku who are going to go absolutely nuts over every single detail of the tanks and how they're actually going to be operating them and what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So I'm foreseeing a lot like Upote because it's going to appeal to that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if one or more of the staff are military otaku. They gotta be.
One series that was announced that I'm looking forward to, I think one of the most, aside from Codebreaker, but Jormungand 2. How to explain this series? Did you ever see Man of War? Not Lord of War. Sorry,
Lord of War.
With Nick Cage, where he was a gun runner.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I've ever watched that. I know
one of my favorite movies of all time.
Fantastic.
Jormungand 2 is basically about gun runners and what they do in relation to other gun runners and their own private army and whatnot, and it's hilariously active.
Oh, that actually sounds really cool. Because I mean, one of my friends mentioned the first season to me, but it didn't really like click on my radar. But now that you kind of mention it in that
Check it out, man. It's one of those that's like, okay, this is kind of cool. I'll get into this.
nice, nice.
All right, but there's a ton others out there. I'm actually gonna post in the chat right now the listing of the where we're grabbing all these information from. There you go. And I'll probably post a little article about that on the website as well. Been doing a lot of late night posting on there, and by late night I mean like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Sounds about right.
Well, let's talk about another anime series that's finally getting a movie. Thank the gods.
Yes.
Certain Magical Index. Towato Majizu no Index, of course, spawned a sequel, and then a spin-off series, a certain scientific railgun.
Yep.
Sometimes a bit on the absurd in terms of their logic, but so much action. It panders a lot, but you know what? It's enjoyable. It's very enjoyable.
For sure.
And they're actually going to be showing, or they announced a movie, and we're going to show the trailer for it, and we'll talk a little more afterwards.
All right.
So, as always, if you've seen the series at all, or read the visual novels, or even just the manga, it's got a decent amount of action, a bit of a sci-fi feel to it, especially in Scientific Railgun. Magical Index focuses more on the magical powers.
Right.
But it was great that they cross over so many times throughout, both series. And with this movie, I would not be surprised. I mean, you saw some of the characters in there as well.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this movie is that the story, it is a continuation, but the original light novel author actually fleshed out the story in order to accommodate this. And they worked with another person to write the script for the movie. JC staff is coming back to animate it, so you're expecting that high quality. It dipped every once in a while in the second season of Certain Magical Index 2, but overall still a high standard, really good, nice action, high detail in the close-ups.
Yeah.
Let's see. In the story, it basically takes place just before the completion of the Academy City space elevator. The main characters, Kamijo and Index, encounter a level 0 girl named Arisa, who the magicians are after, and they begin to attack the city in order to get her. The funny thing is that you start getting characters from Railgun to show up now.
Nice.
And kind of support them in this brewing war between magic and science. And I can only imagine, because the level of the battle at the end of this film, that's going to have to be one. Because you got to think.
Oh, yeah. And it's a movie.
Yeah, exactly. So the production value and the budget is so much higher than from a regular 26-episode TV series.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, if I will be sorely disappointed if it doesn't impress.
Exactly. And we don't have to wait relatively too long to hear about it. I mean, the film is opening up next February in Japan.
Okay.
Funimation has to pick this up ASAP. Someone in the chat was asking where they can actually watch the series. I know the first season of Towato Majizu no Index is available on Funimation's website.
Okay.
There is a free to view. I mean, it comes with commercials and whatnot because it's tied in with Hulu. But it's the same Crunchyroll, like $7 a month, and you get HD quality sub and dub of most series.
That's not too bad, especially it's probably a really good way to play catch up. And I mean, I think the streaming is also a big plus since you don't have to actually in the fan subbing world, downloading a file to your computer, and then if you want to watch it on your laptop, you have to transfer that file to your laptop.
Exactly.
It's kind of makes that a lot easier.
I just wish that a lot of these streaming companies, or streaming websites, I should say, would have apps for the mobile devices, not to mention.
Yes.
I mean, you have like Crunchyroll who has apps on, iOS, and now they have it for PS3. Here's the crappy thing. I tried to put it on the PS3. The first day I turned it on, it's not HD. It's limited at 480p, which, okay, the PS3 does it helps with the up-resing, and okay, fine, it looks kind of decent. I tried to log in yesterday to watch some anime before I go to bed. and it doesn't work. I tried like 15 times. I even looked online on their website trying to find why is this not working.
Heck?
They said, "Oh, just log out and log back in." Didn't work.
Anybody else kind of reporting on similar login issues?
Everywhere on the Crunchyroll forums, they're aware of it, but they haven't done anything about it. So,
ouch.
But I mean, I was able to easily go to Funimation's website because I have the I bought an account with them as well, and I watched a little bit of Railgun, and it still looks fine. So
cool.
But yeah, if there's two places I would recommend getting streaming anime, it would be Crunchyroll and Funimation. Viz has Neon Alley, which is gonna be dub only. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
can't say too much about that.
Exactly. So all right, moving on. Bryan, you remember the times we used to go to Culver City and go check out the Royalty Cafe?
Yes.
Well, you know, a while ago that I closed down, which was sad. But I mean, it was partly a Maid Cafe, mostly an art gallery.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know what happened. I mean, do you know any of the circumstances?
All I know is that last month they Royalty Cafe closed their doors, and so I was thinking, okay, well that's it for Maid Cafes in the States.
I wonder, is the art gallery still open?
Nope, it's all gone.
Oh, it's all gone.
It's all gone.
I see.
There actually is a new Maid Cafe out in the States. This is actually all the way out in Detroit, of all places. Detroit has a Maid Cafe. The Cho Anime Cafe is operating out of the Midtown District. It's been open for about a month now.
Okay.
Mostly maids. There is one butler at this time, and like you usually expect from a maid cafe, they serve coffee, salads, sandwiches, Japanese sweets, and they even go as far as, for a small fee like $2 for like 4 minutes, the maids or the butler will play a little game with you somewhere.
Cool.
You know, like little board game or something like that. They are selling, little, kimonos, maid costumes, anime posters, manga in the back, but it's not an art gallery. They focus solely on the maid cafe aspect.
Okay, so it's fully dedicated to that.
It's fully dedicated.
Interesting.
And of course now they have the title of the only maid cafe in operation in the States right now.
Yep.
My question is, for how long? Because this is not the first time, obviously, because Royalty Cafe wasn't even the first one. I mean, there was Far Out Toys in San Jose that had one.
Right.
Even when I go up north, in Ontario, you had the iMade Cafe, which they closed down due to unpaid back rent. I mean, it wasn't making enough; they couldn't afford the bills.
Yeah. Kind of wonder about that, actually.
I mean, Bryan, do you think there actually could be a sustainable market for maid cafes in the States?
You know what? I mean, I think there's always an opportunity for something new to come in, because it's not like things haven't taken off before.
True.
There's plenty of trends that would just pick up and definitely get traction. Maid Cafe, I think it almost is a little bit too niche, because I get the feeling that the average person might have issues with kind of the portrayal of women and all of that.
Oh yeah, there's always
going to
be people who are not aware of what the cafe is from, or the base behind it, and they're going and go, the hell is this?
Yeah, so I don't know. It might be a little bit too niche to be like something that could really potentially grow, but you never know.
True. I mean, I give them props. I mean, they garnered enough press that the Huffington Post actually wrote an article on them.
Oh, interesting.
The owner is only 35 years old, so young owner, young proprietor. It all depends. I'm not aware of how large the anime scene is in Detroit or in Michigan, for that matter.
Well, the Midwest does have a pretty solid base, but they could be a little bit spread out. Might be a little bit spread out, though.
Sure.
So
we'll see what happens with it. There's actually a few people who have already written blog posts on a few websites about their experience at the place. My personal belief, that as fun as maid cafes are, because I was fortunate enough to actually go to one in Japan earlier this year.
Right.
It's one hell of an experience, by the way. One hell of a unique experience.
I see.
Yeah, because here I am, 300+ pound American dancing around with, two maids on the stage while everyone else is staring at me. I'm like, okay, Why not?
Remember, otaku is shameless.
Damn straight. But I see it being, extremely popular at conventions, which it has been in all over the country. But as a standalone, year-round event, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's hard to tell.
it's a very tough
But
call.
we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
All right. What should we talk about next?
Let's see.
You want to talk about the new Miku commercial?
Oh, yes. Did you shoot me a link to that?
Yeah, I can shoot you a
Sorry
link real
about
quick.
that.
No
But
problem. No problem.
but I mean, to from what I remember, the so Famima and Miku, or I guess Krypton,
Mhm.
have a collaboration going. Chanko, who actually went to AX in 2010
Mhm.
with Xanids, he provided a lot of the art for it.
Ah,
And
okay.
so there's a whole bunch of like Miku related products like instant noodles
Mhm.
and
Meat
uh,
buns.
yeah,
What's cool is that they actually took the very popular song Popipo for the
yeah,
vegetable juice and made an actual
yes,
vegetable juice.
yes,
But it's
yes,
not 158 yen. It's actually 200 yen. But so they created a couple. Well, they created a commercial to showcase the crossover, the tie-in, and then they actually showcased a couple blooper reels.
hmm.
I'll show the actual commercial first. The
You
fact they
know,
went to the lengths to make
yeah.
that.
Although it kind of reminds me of the kind of they made similar videos for when the Corolla uh,
Yes, they
was
did.
when they were doing the advertisements for the Corolla in the US. I remember they did
Hmm.
similar things with it.
Although those ones seemed more like Miku's experiences going around L.A. about her
Right.
fascination with hot dogs.
Right. Although I kind of like that they made the that she sang the jingle. Like there are actually a handful of remixes out on Nico Nico of that theme.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, there's this one really funny song like where she sings that, and then they sing pretty much the exact words to the melody like that.
Hmm.
Those who aren't familiar, the line she sang, the melody is the chime that you hear when you enter a Family Mart in Japan.
Okay.
And so yeah, they wrote people remixed that little chime to make all sorts of like songs
I
and
have to find these now and hear them.
yeah, I'll shoot you some links later.
Sweet, thank you. All right, well, that's a bit of all the news we had for anime. There's a good amount of video game news that came out because Gamescom in Europe was going on.
Ah, right.
Basically, their version of E3, which I think has a much wider attendance than E3
Hmm,
itself.
I see. Right, right.
Let's show off first. Oh, we can talk about this first without showing anything about it.
Hmm.
A while ago, it was announced that Final Fantasy VII is getting re-released on PC. No, it's not an HD upgrade. It's just a release of the original PC game on Steam and a couple other sites. It's currently available for I think about $10. The normal rate's about 15.
Hmm.
They were making a big deal that this version's going to include achievements, online achievements. You can earn trophies and whatnot.
Hmm.
These are some of the dullest achievements I have ever seen. I mean, I was looking for, really unique trophies like, beat the game with no materia or solo
Hmm.
ruby weapon or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it's like complete the first part of the game, get Sid's last limit break, master of all materias, start a battle in Battle Square. This is
So
cheap.
this is like the generic first and last achievements.
Exactly. Reach level 99 with any character. Master of Gil is 99.9 million Gil. These are
Hmm.
pathetic.
Although, what kind of, I mean, what kind of other achievements could you get? Because I can only think of maybe setting specific records in,
Bringing back
like,
heirs from the dead.
well, yeah, and make that worth like 90% of the points because you never get it. But
Yeah, it's just like, okay. They're like 90% of these things are just, limit breaks, which you're going to
right,
get anyways throughout the game.
yeah, uh, it's like how those achievements are kind of, yeah, like you're saying, it's like the ones that you're inevitably gonna come across. Like you're
Hmm.
pretty much, it, I think you're right. Like most of these are pretty much you're guaranteed to get like half of these
Yeah,
just by completing the game once, regardless of how hard you try.
exactly.
That's kind of a letdown.
Kotaku has an article of 10 achievements I'd like to see in the re-release.
Mm.
One's called Nostalgia Overload. Realize that Final Fantasy VII isn't as good as it was when you were 12. Deny this to the grave.
Yeah.
Physics. What are physics? Use Tifa in combat.
You see, oh man.
The best one was the achievement is Square Enix. Convince a shopkeeper to pay you 5 times for the same item. Oh well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's out there. So younger fans, they can actually go download it and actually play the original without
Yeah.
And
The original was released in 1998, so it was a Windows 98 release.
I still have the original PC on four CDs, the
Oh,
install
nice.
disc and the 3 play discs.
Yes.
I lost the manual. I don't know where that went, but it's one of those I'll still keep. And when I have kids eventually, they'll be like, "Here you go," and be like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
This is what you should be playing for the next 3 months. So they announced those at Gamescom, and it was like, okay, that's fail.
Yeah.
But let's show some good stuff.
All right.
Let's talk about 007 Legends. There is a
Right.
crap load of hype for this game. I mean, what have you heard about this, Bryan, so far?
Not too much myself actually. Yeah, pretty much that they're pretty much bringing back like representations of all of the pretty much all of the 007s, right?
As many as they can.
Yeah, and then try to recreate all the settings as well, right?
With the only exception that the 007 this time around is actually played by Daniel Craig.
Right.
So it's Daniel Craig going against, Jaws. And I mean, you're not going to have, Pierce Brosnan's character or Timothy Dalton's character in any of these. It's all going to be Daniel Craig.
Oh, I see. So they're going to stick him in all of the...
Exactly. They're going to kind of modernize
smart.
some of the older ones, but it's all going to be put together. And they announced 2 more Legends or just at Gamescom. So let me go and play the trailer for it, and it looks kind of fun. So there you go. It has potential.
Yeah. Are they modernizing the old ones? I couldn't tell from the trailer.
From what I was reading about this, so they're gonna modernize some parts of the older movies, the older Bond movies,
I see.
to tie in with the fact that you have all of them going on with the same 007. So,
True enough, yeah.
which is not over 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, that is true.
But it's kind of cool they have Jaws in there. You saw Moonraker, and now they're doing Die Another Day and License to Kill. My only concern about this, aside from the gameplay looks all right, but the graphics seem a little dated.
Dated, yeah. I kind of get that feeling too.
It almost feels like an early PS3 title.
Why not just remake GoldenEye and just call it a day?
Exactly. Again, of course, I mean, the original N64 GoldenEye, it forever will be the pinnacle of 007 games. I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch that. Even
that
close.
Multiplayer, that's all you have to
Which
say.
is a funny note that I found while looking up information about this game, is that the management for the crew that was actually making GoldenEye trusted them so much that there were several features, including the full multiplayer, that was actually pushed through without management knowing until retail.
Are you serious?
The crew, the actual programmers put together multiplayer and demoed it and QA'd it and then put it into the final release without management actually aware of it.
Well, it was developed by Rare.
Yeah.
So they were really close to Nintendo at the time, I remember. So I guess I'm not entirely surprised by that fact, but that is actually a pretty cool thing.
That could never happen, nowadays. The game management has to know every single detail, all the way down to what food are they eating before it actually gets released.
Yeah.
Oh well. Let's talk Sony. Sony had a big press conference at Gamescom. They announced a couple games, including a game called Puppeteer. I'm not going to show the video for it. It's very similar to Little Big Planet in that graphical style and gameplay,
Ah, okay,
but
right
just you're
on.
playing a wooden puppet. That's basically the only difference I can see.
I see.
But they did announce one called Rain.
Hmm.
This is interesting. Rain revolves around a boy who suddenly wakes up in a mysterious new world. In this world, he is invisible and can only be seen in the rain, because of that outline. And you
Oh,
control this boy throughout this world.
wow.
It's kind of a cool idea. So let me play the trailer. We'll talk more afterwards.
Right. Hmm. Very
Interesting, isn't it?
interesting. Yeah, I kind of wonder exactly how the gameplay mechanics are going to work out, especially since other characters are also have this same property where they can only be seen when standing in the
Mm.
rain.
When I first heard about this game and the concept,
Hmm.
it kind of reminded me of a scene from the original Ghost in the Shell movie. When Motoko's
Oh,
chasing the guy through the streets and then eventually to that wide open
yes.
area where you only saw her in the outline of when she got splashed.
Yes.
The
Yes.
first place where I went to on this.
Nice. Yeah. No, that actually makes perfect sense.
It definitely has a vibe, for me at least, of like Ico and some of those other classic games.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, I just really wonder what kind of puzzles or a story they plan to build around it, because that'll probably be what kind of sets it apart.
Exactly. Sadly, we have no information other than the trailer and that it's coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, the title Rain is actually a working title, so we don't know what's actually officially going to be called, nor do we have a release date. So this is very early on, but I'm curious about this. I want to see more of this game.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, the Puppeteer one, like I said, it's a version of Little Big Planet. It's nothing really that special. Um, let's see. Do I want to get to the Team Fortress 2 stuff, or do I want to talk about Mercenary Kings?
They're both really awesome.
Yes.
Let's do Mercenary
Okay, let's
Kings.
go Mercenary Kings. Um,
Yes.
a while ago, I believe it was on, yeah, it was on this show on AniBreak, and that wasn't from Mother's Basement, that I started talking about the Scott Pilgrim game that came out for Xbox Live and PlayStation Network.
Right.
A year after its release, finally got an update for online multiplayer. Awesome stuff. I'm gonna go and
Ah,
play it again. It's gonna be great.
yeah.
But the company behind it
Hmm.
isn't resting on their laurels. They're actually creating a brand new game called
Nice.
Mercenary Kings.
Hmm.
Think classic Contra with the Scott Pilgrim game artistic style.
Ah, I see.
It looks fun. Again, it's that classic side scroller, shooter game that I played so much when I was a kid,
Hmm.
and now it's coming back in a new way. I'm
Nice.
looking forward to it. They actually have a little trailer for it. We'll play that and we'll talk a little more.
All right.
Looks fun. Sounds like you're muted.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there
sorry.
you go.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. The thing that actually I think caught my eye the most in that trailer
Hmm.
is the fact that you can make custom weapons, but on top of that, customize the weapons even further, right?
Hmm.
So does that mean you can make like a sniper shotgun or
You can,
something like
yes.
that?
You definitely
Nice.
can.
Nice.
Um, let's see. Yeah. I was looking on their website about this. The funny thing about this game is, in order
Uh-huh.
to fund it, they're actually reaching out to the fans. So they actually started a Kickstarter for this. They have a couple different
Yep.
tiers of. They just started 2 days ago. They're asking for
All right.
initially $75,000.
Right.
If they get to that point,
Mhm.
30 to 40 missions, 4-player local co-op mode,
Right.
20 to 30 primary weapon sets that you can adjust and modify as much as you want.
Mhm.
A bunch of NPCs, 15 enemies, and a bunch of achievements.
Mhm.
If they go to 125,000, they add 30 more missions, even
Mhm.
more weapons, more knives, more NPCs.
Right.
175,000, the full plot is unveiled, plus an additional 30 missions on top. So you're talking about like 100 missions already.
Yeah.
4-player online co-op, and then if they get to the $200,000 milestone,
Mhm.
they get 120 missions,
You
even
know,
more weapons, a final boss, all that stuff.
I think what I find kind of funny about that is that it's basically the way that works is that since people will be super hyped for the highest tier,
Mhm.
that they'll pretty much try to drag all their friends into donating.
Damn straight they will.
Like instead of just kind of like sharing that, oh, I donated to this cause, they're just like, it's like, we must make this happen. I'll force all my friends to donate all their money.
And the thing is, it's cheap. I mean, the base level to fund them is $15, which gives
Right.
you a digital copy of the game when it comes out. 15
Mhm.
bucks gets you the game right then and there. Well, once it comes out.
Which,
And it goes,
how
you know,
long is it?
100,000, and then they have like special things like if you give $1,500 or more, they'll actually draw you as a hostage in the game and
Oh,
whatnot.
nice.
If you pledge $2,000 or more, you could design your own weapon, as
Right.
well as modifications for it.
Mm.
And
Interesting.
like I said, it only started 2 days ago. So it has 28 days left.
Mhm.
They already have 896 backers and over $30,000. They're gonna hit the 200,000, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
Let's see. So they're, let's see, not even 10% of the way time-wise, and they're
Exactly.
already like 15%, yeah,
Yeah.
money. So as
It-
long as the pace keeps up.
Yeah, as I've been trying to promote this as much as possible. It's an awesome idea. I've already given $15 for it because I want to play this game.
Mhm.
I put the link for the Kickstarter in the chat, and I'll post it on the website as well, so you guys can check that out. But let's wrap things up with
All right.
the big news that I'm gonna be playing tonight because I'm gonna download the update. Is Team Fortress 2. You want to take this one, Brian?
All right, so Team Fortress 2 revealed the next feature, which is Man versus Machine, which is pretty much what is it? What do you call it? Survival?
Yeah,
Or,
basically horde mode, survival. Yeah.
Yeah, horde survival. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and go into the trailer.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that the whole Western style trailer complete with white pigeon.
hmm
Yeah.
The crazy thing about this, aside
Mhm.
from okay, now there's a third faction,
Mhm.
and they're gonna fight robots, and they're teaming together, and it's gonna be horde mode. It's gonna be cool.
Right.
But it's how they got about to promote this. In classic Valve Star, they actually started off with an ARG, an alternate reality game.
Right.
As the same thing what they did with Portal 2. If you guys remember, there was an update to Portal 1 that started this huge ARG where the radio started spurting code that if you put together was actually a hex code that you turn into an ASCII art that actually give you a website that gave you a BBS you can go into. I mean, they got pretty
Yeah.
deep into this.
Right.
This
right.
isn't that deep, but it was still kind of impressive.
Mm.
A little while ago, there was a little update, and players started realizing that there are several items that usually aren't equipable, which suddenly are. So they updated, they equipped them and said they did anything. And then they started giving each other high fives. When they gave a player a high five, that player received a little notice in the form of a joke. Inside the joke, though, was some hidden hex code. People put together in a couple days later, and they found out that this code was actually an in-game item crafting recipe. Only after all the items, there was a ton of them, were actually crafted, a message was released game-wide, like server-wide, released in the comic that actually explained how the Mann brothers actually had a third brother. Which is hilarious as hell for the sole fact that he's called Gray Man because it's, Gray Co. Let me show you this picture real quick. In classic Valve style, they love to make fun of themselves. So,
Right.
Gray Man looks a lot like G-Man.
Aha.
I can put it over. Yeah.
If you can scroll it, yeah.
Gray Man is G-Man.
That is very makes sense. I can totally see them doing that.
Oh yeah. So it's out now. I'm going to be downloaded right after the show is over, so I can actually start playing it.
Sweet.
So, all right. Well, I think that's all the news we want to talk about for this episode. Anything you want to plug, Brian? Like you got a con coming up, or?
Yeah. So I know there's a convention in Vegas coming up, but I'm actually not gonna be there. I'm
Okay.
actually gonna be at a convention in Missouri, Kansas City to be exact, called Motaku.
Okay.
It's a 3-day convention. I'm going to be spending days 1 and 2, Friday and Saturday night. And so, anybody living out in the Midwest has the opportunity to go. Definitely, it'd be cool if you can come out, take a look. Let's see. one of my good friends who also lives out in the Midwest is going to be there spinning with me, so that's also something to look forward to as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's gonna be nice, man. I wish I could join you out there, but I got to focus on more stuff out here at home. So.
For sure.
But I have a lot of stuff to write and lots of to get prepped for Friday's episode of From My Mother's Basement, because we're going to talk about a little bit of controversy surrounding that Las Vegas con. Not Anime Las Vegas, but AniMegaCon, is it called?
Yes,
yeah.
That's right.
They actually went to send a letter or an email to a woman. I think she's like one of the heads of cosplay.com. Asking asking her, will you strip for us burlesque style? Here's $200 and some tickets. Any girl who wants to make 10 times that could spend an hour in any strip club in Vegas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to talk a little more about that. So
that'll be an interesting topic of conversation, I'm sure.
Yes. All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for joining us for this episode. We're going to stick around afterwards for a little post-show. And, Brian, I need a link so I can play a little bit of your remix as well.
SoundCloud.
Yes. Oh, it's on your SoundCloud? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll just grab it from there.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Jason.
And I'm Brian.
And we will see you next week. Later, everybody.